Welcome to the ShadowBear Story Sessions, now with video. Trying this out. Let's see how this goes. If you're listening to this on audio, don't know if it's going to sound much different. Probably going to be pretty similar, but we're doing this on YouTube now. We're doing this with video. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, ShadowBear Story Sessions, the podcast about ridiculously dark and brutally insane old fairy tales, which was most of them. So we're going through Grimm's fairy tales and moving right along. I think it's been about a year since I've done one of these, but let's get back into it with video. This week's episode, The Bird Phoenix. We begin. Been a while since I've said that. One day, a rich man went for a walk along the river. All at once, he saw a small casket swimming by. I'm assuming they mean floating by. Still pretty scary. He grabbed hold of the casket, and when he opened the cover, he saw a small child lying inside. That would be terrifying. He's just having a nice day at the river. A casket with a dead child inside of it goes by. So he took the child home and had him raised in his house. The kid was alive? Jesus. Where'd he come from? Get some answers, guy. Hopefully they lead to some answers. If I know folktales, there will be no answers forthcoming about this child's backstory. We continue. However, the rich man disliked the boy. I think we have our explanation on why he was sent down the river. And one time he took the boy with him in a boat on the river. Once the boat was in the middle of the river, he swam to shore and left the child alone in the boat. The boat continued floating down the river until... Okay. So he finds a kid in a casket, raises him for an indeterminate amount of time, goes in, takes him out on a boat, and then just bails. He just jumps off the boat, and the child floats away. I mean, if we're looking at this from the child's perspective, he essentially upgraded from a casket to a boat, which is a huge upgrade. We have to be honest about that. He's definitely improving his circumstances slightly. No explanation for why he didn't like the child. We're not even a paragraph into this. There's so much happening. Who the hell is this kid? And what's this guy's problem? The rich man. I guess if he's rich, he's just down a boat. Wow, all right. The boat continued floating down the river until it passed the mill. And the miller saw the child. Run, Miller. You don't want any part of this kid. The miller took pity on the child, fetched him from the boat, and raised him in his house. I'm really hoping it finally works out for this sad, sad boy. One day, the rich man happened to come by, recognized the child, and carried him away. Why, rich man? You didn't want this boy. You just sent him on the river on a boat. Soon thereafter, he gave the young man a letter to bring to his wife. And the letter read, "As soon as you read this letter, you are to kill the person who delivered it." What the hell are you doing, rich man? What is your problem? He was being raised by the miller, and everything seemed to be going fine. But he shows up and it's like, nah, now I've decided it's not enough that I just wiped my hands of this child. This kid needs to die. But I'm not going to do it. My wife is going to do it. He's too cowardly to do it himself. So he sends this kid to his wife. And is like, hey, honey, kill this kid immediately. Jesus. Also, the wife presumably knows the boy from when the rich man was raising him, right? Right? I don't know. So wouldn't she be like, she would then, maybe she liked him. Just like, I don't want to kill this kid. We got along fine. We got along too well, actually, which is why my husband got jealous and sent him off on a boat. I don't know. There's more unanswered questions here. But all right, as things currently stand, he's given this kid a letter to give to his wife that says, "Honey, kill this kid." We continue. However, as the young man was traveling through the forest, he met an old man who said to him, "Show me the letter that you're carrying in your hand." The old man took the letter, turned it around once, and gave it back to the young man. Now the letter read, "You are immediately to offer our daughter as wife to the young man delivering this letter." Okay. All right. So now we just have a very mischievous old man in the forest who's just totally messing with people. We don't know how does he know if they have a daughter? What if they don't even have a daughter? We don't know about this. Also, his handwriting is definitely going to be different than the rich guy, right? He's got old man scribble handwriting. Actually, older people generally have really nice handwriting, so I take that back. I apologize to old people. Yeah. So this old man is really switching things around. What's the rich man doing, though? Is he just like on vacation? He's like, I'm going to send this kid off to get killed while I just keep hanging out with my buddy, the Miller. Maybe he and the Miller are friends, and he's like, "Hey, Miller, I just did you a big favor getting rid of that kid. You don't want no part of this business." Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked on way too many tangents way too quickly here. We continue. And this is what happened. All right. So, kid went back, and the wife was like, "All right, I guess we're promising our daughter to this man," who she must have recognized again. But the rich man, he's just gone for... Okay. And when the rich man heard about this, so he didn't even get back, he became furious and said, "Well, this wedding's not going to happen so quickly. Before I give you my daughter, you must bring me 3 feathers from the bird phoenix." Why is he even giving him like a chance to marry the daughter? He's like, "No, you're not marrying my daughter." The end. Or maybe he's like, "I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to see what's up." Give him a test. Maybe he's cleverer than I thought. Also, I mean, the kid could have just read the letter and changed it himself, right? It's like bad system, rich man, to send him back with a letter to kill him. You're going to read that letter if you're that young man. You're going to read that letter. So I guess, but the kid didn't, so I guess he's an idiot, and thank goodness this old man did the switcheroo. Or maybe not. Maybe this kid really sucks, and we should be on the rich man's side here. I don't know. We continue. So the young man set out on his way to the bird phoenix. I guess everyone knows what that is, and met the old man again on the same spot in the forest. Quote, "Keep walking for the entire day," the old man said. "In the evening, you'll come to a tree. 2 doves will be sitting on it, and they'll tell you how to proceed." That evening, when the young man came to the tree, 2 doves were sitting on it. One of the doves said, "Whoever searches for the bird phoenix must walk the entire day. In the evening, he'll come to a gate that's locked." Then the second dove said, "There is a gold key that lies underneath this tree, and it will open the gate." This isn't like impressive. This isn't like a test that he's like nailing. He's just being told what to do by random people. We still have no idea who the hell this old man is or why he's helping him. Maybe he's the devil, and this young man is his spawn and will take over the world and rain hellfire on everyone. Anyway, we continue. The young man found the key and later used it to open the gate. 2 men were sitting there, and one of them said, this is so random. One of them said, "Whoever searches for the bird phoenix must travel a great distance over the high mountain, and then he'll finally come to a castle. Why is any of this happening? Why? This is just random. This is just fleshing it out just to flesh it out. This is just making it convoluted just to make it convoluted. I hate when they do this in stories. We continue. On the evening of the third day, he finally reached the castle, where a wise little lady sat and said, "What do you want here?" "Oh, I'd like to get 3 feathers from the bird phoenix." "Your life is in danger," she said. "If the bird phoenix becomes aware of your presence, he'll eat you up, skin and hair." Isn't it skin and bone? I've never heard people go skin and hair. "Nevertheless, I'll see if I can help you get the 3 feathers." Why is everyone helping this kid? Maybe it's just he's earned so much good karma from his terrible circumstances before. I mean, we found this kid in a casket on the river. Though, as far as humble beginnings go, you don't get much more humble than that. Maybe life has just shit on this kid so much for so long that he's just getting a super insane string of good luck with everyone wanting to help him. Or maybe he just looks so pitiful that people just want to help him, except for the rich man who wants to kill him. We continue. Or she, the little old lady, continues talking. "Nevertheless, I'll see if I can help you get the 3 feathers. He comes here every day, and I must comb him with a narrow comb." She combs a bird? "So now quick, get under the table." After he did this, young man was then covered completely by a cloth. Meanwhile, the bird phoenix came home, sat down at the table, and said, I smell human flesh." This is very similar to a previous story that was about the devil, I think. "Oh, what? You see, don't you, that nobody's here," the old woman said. "Comb me now," the bird phoenix responded. All right, I guess he's moving on past that, forgetting about the human flesh he smelled. Also, she's human. So, that's the flesh he's smelling. I don't know. Can birds smell flesh? There's so much going on here. The wise little lady, is she wise? Combed the bird phoenix, and as she was doing this, he fell asleep. When he was sound asleep, she grabbed a feather, pulled it out, and threw it beneath the table. All at once he woke up. "Why are you tearing my hair like that?" Do you mean feathers? This is like the one about the devil, who it was hair then. This is just like a super lazy, like, new version of this that some other people made, I guess. "I dreamed that a human came and pulled out one of my feathers." What does a dream have to do with it? We continue. She calmed him down, and so it went 2 more times. When the young man had the 3 feathers, he set out for home and was now able to obtain his bride. The end. That's it. That's the end of the story. It's going along very painstakingly, and then in literally 2 sentences, they just wrap it up. She calmed him down, did it 2 more times, he took the feathers, and got his bride. There it is. That's the... That is infuriating. Oh my god. Okay. So to sum up, we find a kid in a casket on the river, and a rich man's like, all right, I'll raise this kid because I'm nice. Then he decides, oh, this kid sucks. Put him on a boat, send him back down. Technically, I'm putting him in a better situation than I found him. A miller finds him. They seem to be getting on fine as like father and son, the miller and the young man. But then the rich man happens to show up and he's like, oh, this kid, nah. This kid can't be anywhere near me. This kid needs to die. But I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to send him home and tell my wife to do it. And the kid, through no ingenuity or cleverness of his own, stumbles upon a random old man who's like, hey, let me see that letter. I'm going to help you out, kid, for no reason, really, because we know nothing about this kid. Literally no character qualities. They could have done at least something early on to show that the kid's like a good guy or is clever or deserving of anything good. in any way. It's nice when, like, the person who good things happen to is good in some way. But no, he's just a kid who I guess we assume is good or are on his side because we found him in a casket. He shows up, gives a letter to this wife who's like, "All right, I have no say in this, so I guess our daughter is marrying this kid who lived here for a little while and we all hated." But then the rich man hears about this, is like, "All right, I'm not going to stop the wedding. I was going to murder this kid, but now I'll entertain the possibility of him becoming my son-in-law if he can get me 3 feathers from this random legendary bird who lives really far away, because for some reason that makes him deserving." We don't even know why the bird is formidable in any way, or why this is an impressive thing to do. And you know what? Turns out it's not an impressive thing to do. This kid just wanders around, getting told by old men and doves and 2 guys at a gate and some little old lady what to do. They do everything for this young man, and stuff just kind of works out, and the rich man definitely isn't gonna be cool, like, moving forward about all of this. This isn't gonna be like one happy family now. This kid who, like, somehow became the husband of the daughter, the son-in-law of these parents by, like, weird circumstance and trickery, but not, is such a convoluted way in which they became a family. Does the kid even want to marry the daughter? Probably not. The family hates him. Why would he want to be a part of that family? Just be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm going to go back to the miller who liked me." This is a terrible story all around. And yet, I'm going to adapt it into something. So we will stop there. And I'm going to think of something to clean up this mess. Let's see what we get. All right. We've got it. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a comedy. Let's adapt this thing. So, start off with a rich guy played by Danny McBride. And one night, he's in his big mansion looking out over his giant estate and all of his land, his rolling hills. He's got a lake. He's got a lot of land. He is obscenely wealthy. And he sees a shooting star, and it's not a star. It's a falling meteor, and it lands somewhere out on his lands. And so the next day, he hops on an ATV, a 4-wheeler, and he heads out, and he finds a meteor, but it doesn't look normal. It looks like a coffin. Got to give a little shout out to the original tale there. And he pries open what looks to be the lid of this sort of rock-like, sort of metallic rock kind of material, and he sort of pries open the lid, and a bunch of depressurizes, and a bunch of gas comes out, and then he looks inside, and he sees this little sort of puddle of goop, and sort of moving around, and then suddenly a light emanates from the puddle of goop and sort of scans over him from head to toe, and then all of a sudden the puddle of goop transforms into the shape of a human man. And of course we're going to cast this role too, and this will be played by Bowen Yang, because he is phenomenal at eccentric characters, and I just love him in general, and he's amazing and brilliant and needs to be in more things. So he's going to be our alien. And so Danny McBride is like, "Well, this is awesome. What's happening? Why are you here?" And Bowen Yang says he's here to learn about humans and the Earth, and Danny McBride is like, "Great. I'm a human. I live on Earth. You live with me. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know." And then we have a wonderful montage of them just, like, flying a helicopter and shooting machine guns out of it on his land. Like, of course, Danny McBride, they're riding jet skis together. Gotta have that in the sequence. Them just doing all kinds of just, like, crazy rich guy stuff. And, yeah, just having a great time. But Bowen Yang, he asks them, he asked Danny McBride about things like morality and kindness and generosity, and Danny McBride was like, yeah, losers and nerds care about that stuff on Earth, okay? Cool people don't. And Bowen Yang he's judgmental about this. He doesn't agree. He thinks the people in his society, the most successful, are the most generous. And Dan McBride's like, all right, stupid. And then Bowen Yang meets Danny McBride's family, and the wife is played by Kristen Wiig, and the daughter is played by Chloe Fineman. Let's keep it in the SNL fam here. And one day, Bowen Yang and Danny McBride, they get into a big argument about morality and things like that. And Danny throws him out of the house, says he can't stay here anymore. And, well, Bowen Yang really takes that to heart, and he leaves. And Bowen Yang gets super famous because he's an alien, and he's consulting with all these world leaders and helping them do all these great things and helping people. And this enrages Danny McBride, of course, because he sees him on the news and all the time. He feels personally slighted and also abandoned. So Danny McBride, he decides he's gonna kill Bowen Yang, the alien. And so he gets a bunch of his rich buddies, just assembles this like wonky rich guy dumbass Avengers, basically. And okay, let's cast it. We're gonna have Ramesh Ranganathan. He's a stand-up. He's one of the rich guy assholes. Also got John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. I mean, got to, right? Phenomenal. Would kill it. Catherine Ryan, too. Another stand-up comedian. She'd be great as a hoity-toity, obscenely wealthy lady. And they come up with this plan to kill him. Let's say, just because of the original story, he tries to convince his wife to do it. He tries to convince... There's a big scene where he just tries to convince Kristen Wiig to kill Bowen Yang. He's like, he liked you more than me anyway. You guys got along great. Come on. You can get close to him. He'll allow you to get close to him. You just got to kill him. She's like, no, I'm not going to do it, Danny. I'm not going to kill our friend, the alien. And so, in the dramatic climax of the movie, Danny McBride and his rich guy associates, they use their super insane rich guy technology and break into and take control of the floor of the UN, where Bowen Yang is going to address the world as an alien and give some big revelation to help everyone. They break in. Danny McBride, he's got a gun. He's about to shoot Bowen. And he asks, why? Why do you want to kill me? And Danny says, doesn't matter why. All that matters is you're going to die. And Bowen Yang, he just looks at him, and he waits for the gun to fire. And we see Danny's face gets all contorted as he's holding the gun. And Ramesh Ranganathan's like, kill him. He insulted all of us obscenely wealthy people. But Danny McBride, he just screams in frustration, and he throws the gun. And he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger. And he says, we were friends. And you abandoned me. I can't do it. We were friends, but we had a big argument and you abandoned me. And Bowen said, yeah, you kicked me out of your house. And Daniel's like, I would have gotten over it. That's what friends do. They disagree sometimes, but they always come back together at the end of the day. And I would have gotten over it. I like that you want to do good things, and that's part of why I got so mad. It's because I know that you're right. I should do more good things with my money. And Bowen says, and I shouldn't leave a friend, and I know that now. And humans are more complex than I realized, and it seems that we all can learn a lot from each other, no matter where we come from. I don't know what that voice was. It's definitely not an alien voice, but whatever. That's what I fell into. And then they have a beautiful friendship, and with Danny McBride's billions of dollars and Bowen Yang's alien kindness and generosity and smarts and just him as a rallying point for bring people together. They do wonderful things. And Chloe Fineman, she always thought her dad was a rich asshole, and she wanted to use their money for good, but Danny McBride never let her, and so her and Bowen Yang the alien get along really well, and they fall in love, and they get married, and They have beautiful half human, half space babies, and they all live happily ever after. The end. And that will do it for the first video episode of the ShadowBear Story Sessions. Let's see what tale we got next week. Oh, when I slammed the page in frustration, I lost the page. Oh, wow. I've opened it right to the next one. The next story we've got is called The Carnation. Let's see. It's not long. It's pretty short. So coming back next time for The Carnation. See you later. That's not a good sign-off. See you later. I had a sign-off before, didn't I? I have a new one. Take care and folk off. Because folk tales. Folk off. Is that? Folk off. That's a good. I'm sticking with that. Folk the folk off. See ya.